Ivana Chubbuck es un gran nombre en Hollywood. Para quienes no la conozcan, ella está detrás de que grandes estrellas de la pantalla se hayan transformado en un hito en Los Ángeles. Por ejemplo, Brad Pitt, Halle Berry. Y durante este fin de semana va a estar en Chile. Ella está dictando un curso, un seminario para actores, directores y escritores. Esta tarde nos acompaña y nos va a contar cuál es su gran secreto. Ivana, thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Our pleasure too. Welcome to Santiago and to Chile.
Well, it's my first time here in Chile, and I'm very excited.
Good, good. We've heard figures like Halle Berry, for example, thank you during the Oscars. Why? What have you done?
Well, I think that everybody's looking for this grand secret, and they're really, it's just about a lot of hard work and taking risks in the inner work that we make. But it's like, actors don't become famous because they're beautiful. They become, or because they're even talented. It takes work to hone that talent. It takes work ethic, which means you have to do the work. And in Monsters Ball, for example, we spent 30 hours on breaking down the script, every line, every moment, every thought process. Anytime that she was on camera, even if she had nothing to say, there was a thought process behind everything, and that takes a lot of time and tenacity, and it's really about that. It's not, there's no secret. All things great happen to people that work hard and take risks.
You talk about taking risks, and we know that there is a technique behind your teaching. We do know too that your childhood wasn't easy. We've heard Charlize Theron, for example, say things like, Ivana taught me how to make my emotions and to take everything that has happened in my life and use it to make me an effective actress. How do you do that? What's the, what would you use behind that?
Well, most people everywhere in the world take pain, emotional pain, trauma of their lives, and they self-destruct with it. And I take taking the same information, the same trauma, the same drama of your life, and use it to fuel a way to overcome and accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Like, say, if it's a character and you want love from the other person, use the pain to fuel and your ability to, like, rise above it and change the world. It's like there's a road that everybody has to take. You have the same pain. Everybody has suffered in the world. It's like, whether it's small pain or big pain, everybody has suffered. There's nobody that has been without that. So here's our path. It's like, I can go this path, which is the path of least resistance, which is to let it affect me and bring me down. And here's the path, the other choice that all of us have, is to take the path, which is a very difficult path because it's filled with rocks and branches that fall into your face. But those people that take the path that say, I'm gonna win, not in spite of you and because of you, I'm going to get through it, and that creates greatness. Whether it's greatness in the characters that you're playing, I'd rather see somebody on screen trying to overcome the shit that's happened to them in their lives than somebody who accepts it and is defeated by that. If I wanted, in life, we could be around people that, like, in life we are always around people that take information that hurts them, and they complain and they suffer, and we don't like being around those people for free. So why would we want to spend money to see them on the screen or take the time to change the channel to watch them on television?
Would you say that you came to that conclusion after a personal experience, after reading it, after studying it?
It was actually, people say, how did you get to this? It's survival. It's like, I was a very abused child. I was physically abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused, to the point where there were times when I really thought about, when as a child, committing suicide, because it was just way too much information, and I was imploding. And a father who was a very nice guy, but he was just unavailable and never chose to acknowledge that was happening. So there was abuse without help. So I could go ahead and do what a lot of people do, like I was talking about before, which is to self-destruct with that. And for a bit of time I did. and I did too many drugs. I had too many sex partners. It was crazy high school, college time. And I said, okay, I could keep doing this and I'm gonna die. Or I could do something about it and use this information to prosper with. So that became the base of the technique because of my own personal need to survive, my own personal ability to survive. Success, I did not come from money. I didn't have any Hollywood friends or family. I came and I created this success and a success that's international off of my need to take that same pain and be able to overcome and accomplish something fabulous and wonderful.
Can we say this is a way of life then? This is not just an acting technique to become a star.
Exactly. I think that what we have the biggest pulpit, actors, directors, writers have the biggest pulpit, more than any priest, more than any religion, because you'll have your flock of people that is a minimal amount of people. Everybody goes to the movies around the world. Everybody watches television. You have an obligation as an artist to give people hope that they can overcome with whatever circumstances they're living with. So I want to go see you in the movies. I have to go see you in the movies because I know that I'm watching you overcome with the same information that I have and say, if that person on the screen could do it, maybe so can I. And that is the most amazing thing an artist can do in our industry.
It's like that admiration, right? And that
admiration comes from not because this person's beautiful or this person acts it so well, but because that person within the character, and all actors like personalize, they take that, so it's personal and it's also part of the character, and they're watching this character bigger than life be able to overcome the pain, use it to become for dynamic results. It's like that person in the audience who has nothing, is like saying, you know what, maybe I can also accomplish greatness. Maybe I can have all that money. And maybe I can have it.
Absolutely.
It's very inspirational and aspirational.
Ivana, when we think, you talk a lot about pain and suffering, but when we think of Jim Carrey, for example, we just think about jokes probably, or most likely. And we know that he came to you asking to save his career. Can you give us, through his experience, an example on how your technique works?
Well, before he came to me, he had done 3 movies and he had done a show called The Duck Factory, and all of it bombed, and they blamed him. And because his work was the crazy, silly stuff but it wasn't based in truth. It wasn't based in his need to accomplish, like the same thing I was talking about before, overcome with the pain. He didn't have any substance. There was no foundation to all that silliness. Most comics, most people, he's a stand-up comic, most comics come from so much rage and so much hurt. And the comedy comes from trying to survive with that information. And there isn't any better, survival or something that is like really something that affects most people is to make people laugh. It's something better. It cures people. Laughter is a wonderful thing. So when he came to me to keep his career, to get a career, because he couldn't even get an audition. He was pretty much blacklisted. And so I said, yes, I will try. I don't know what I can do, but if you really he had a very tough childhood, a very tragic.
Is it a condition to become a good actor?
No, because everybody's tragedy is, whatever dimension it is, you may feel you broke your fingernail and that becomes hugely traumatic. It's how you perceive things. So what we did was we took the tragedy of his childhood, the issues that he had presently, and we were trying to solve them within the work. And that's what made the difference. Same, trying to be funny, but it was coming from a need to accomplish something based in a very strong, very substantial truth.
So you said your seminar is for writers, directors, and actors, right?
Absolutely.
But then after all this conversation, it could be to anyone. Because it's a way to overcome pain.
Absolutely. And my technique has been used for Fortune 500 executives in America. They're starting to use this, and how to become better executives, to how to be more successful. and just interacting with people, because bottom line, you have to interact with people to be successful. And if you piss people off, they're going to be bound and determined not to support you, not to be a part of your team. But if you have a true connection with somebody, they're more likely to go, I'm going to work extra hours, I'm not even going to ask for overtime. I want to be your support system, and therefore a company becomes bigger. You become loved, and you keep raising your reality and your possibilities of having a great success in any field whatsoever.
Wonderful. Ivana, we want to thank you. We hope you have a great weekend here in Santiago.
I'm already having a good time.
Good. That you enjoy the city and the country. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks.